What will the Florida Gators depth chart look like against the Miami Hurricanes? We'll talk about that now on Locked On Gators.
You are Locked On Gators, your daily podcast on the Florida Gators. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Locked On Gators, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Thanks for making Locked On Gators your first listen of the day every day. We are available daily and free wherever you listen to the podcast and on YouTube. Happy Wednesday. I'm Brandon Olsen. Find me on Twitter at WNS_Brandon. Find me this Saturday, 9:30, 10 a.m. at Rights Union. We will be doing a live show, myself and Alex Dono from Locked On Canes. It's going to be a damn good time down in Gainesville this weekend. Today's episode of Locked On Gators is brought to you by Game Time. Download the Game Time app. Create an account and use code Locked On College for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Download Game Time today. What is it? Game Time. We're not going to go over the entire depth chart right now. Also, the official depth chart last year and the year prior came out every Wednesday afternoon, evening-ish. Expecting that to be the case again this year. Don't know why that would change at all. So expecting that to be the case again. We will go through the entire depth chart when it comes out. So if that's going to be tonight, then maybe tomorrow. We've also got potentially crossover Thursday and live shows. So yeah, we're doing a lot with Locked On Canes. But running back is obviously something that people are going to go to pretty early on when they look at the depth chart when it's released, because mostly they will want to see, is Montrell Johnson's name at the top there? Personally, I don't think it will be. That's not me saying anything internally. Internally, injuries are very hard to get information on. But it is me saying that I said it when he got hurt, that even if we knew he wasn't going to be ready, Florida's probably going to go, oh yeah, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, he might be back for the game, just so Miami has to prepare for it, right? And honestly, even if they know he's not playing, wouldn't shock me if he's up there and listed as questionable. Why would you tell them the truth, right? Give them a few days to prepare. Nope. Just have them expecting, hey, Montrell might be out there. Then I think it'll be Trayon Webb, then Jacoby Jackson, and then both of the freshmen. I'm not sure how deep a rotation is going to be. I'm sure that all five will play. I don't think either of the running backs are going to redshirt. But is it going to be 3 carries, 10 plays per game? I'm just curious to see what the split's going to look like between, really, again, 5 running backs that could realistically contribute this season. So just interested to see there. Right side of the line, we know left tackle, left guard, and center are pretty much wrapped up. Left tackle and center are returning in Austin Barber and Jake Slaughter. Left guard, Najee Harris. I mean, going into the offseason, it was Najee Harris is going to have the lead and the leg up in this competition. And throughout everything we've heard this camp, that's never changed. He is going to be starting at the left guard most likely. And I will say the only other question is, will he be starting at right guard or left guard? That was it. It's going to be left guard. Right guard, I'm torn here. A lot of you know I want Rod Kearney to be the starting right guard. When he committed and signed and they moved him to center, I hated it because I thought he could be an early player at guard. So I want Rod Kearney at right guard. I am expecting to see Damian George at the top of that list. And again, I've said, I don't know if Damian George is going to play well. I don't think he's going to play well, but I'm fine going into this with a clean slate. He reportedly struggled this camp. That's not surprising. He's supposed to be better at guard. Doesn't necessarily mean that he's going to be good. But at least week 1, I'm expecting Damian George's name to be at the top of right guard. I want it to be Rod Kearney. At right tackle, I think it'll be Brandon Crenshaw-Dixon. I know that Caden Jones is loved in the building, and they expect him to be one of those rotational tackles. But I still think Brandon Crenshaw-Dixon will be the starting right tackle. Again, at least game 1 of the season. I think that's the offensive line we're going to see trot out there. Nose tackle set, big end, that 3-tech spot that, Caleb Banks or Joey Slackman have been competing for. I think that this is one of those positions where we see the or there with Caleb Banks or Joey Slackman. I don't think the order matters. I do think that situationally there might be a preference, but just in terms of a drive-by-drive basis, I honestly think that this coaching staff doesn't have a strong feeling for either one of these over the other. Like, I don't think that the coaching staff split of like, oh no, we got to start Caleb Banks or we got to start Joey Slackman. I think they're pretty confident in both of those guys. I do think situationally, though, Slackman might be put in, if it's not an up-tempo team, Slackman might be put in on the earlier downs where they're more likely to run. I think he's a better run defender. He's really strong, just powerful dude. Like, you watch the spring game and they're doubling him. And even if he's not shedding them and breaking, he ain't moving back. Like he carries a lot of weight there. So Joey Slackman, think he might play in earlier downs if they're not playing an up-tempo team, or in obvious running situations, he might be out there. I think Caleb Banks, your better pass rusher, not even up for debate there. Of the interior defensive lineman that you've got, I think he plays the bulk of the passing situations, but I think we see an or there. And a genuinely pretty even split on a neutral down basis. Jack is TJ Searcy. I would have to imagine. It seems like it's been TJ Searcy this whole time. I know that there's hype around George Gums, which rightfully so. But yeah, I think it's going to be TJ Searcy at Jack. Maybe Gums is the first guy to rotate in there. A lot of options there with just the edge room in general. The F spot as well going to be an or, I'm assuming, between Tyreek Sapp and Justice Boone. It's a good problem to have, the ors where you can go, okay, well, kind of confident in these guys. And it's not just ors because we're in an ugly spot like Texas A&M's depth chart. Rough thing to see. But I think those were most of the spots that were up in the air. Receiver, I've said, I don't care who's listed what. I think it'll be depending on the personnel they want out there in that situation. If they want Trey Wilson in the slot, Elijah Badger, Khalil Jackson out wide. If they want DK in the slot, Trey Wilson and either Elijah Badger or Khalil Jackson out wide. I think it's very much situationally, so I don't have a strong feeling on receiver. I don't think corner was a real competition. There's Devin Moore and Jason Marshall, always. Safety, Jordan Castell, Asa Turner, always. Or at least this is how it's felt, at least. Tight end, Hayden Hansen, Arlis Boardingham starting. Like, those have felt relatively shocked. Speaking of Hayden Hansen, by the way, he's about to join us, which he will be joining us every single Wednesday throughout the rest of the season. Coming up next on Locked On Gators. I don't know about you, but I will be in Gainesville this weekend for the Miami Hurricanes at Florida Gators game, and I bought my tickets using Game Time. All right, I'm just saying. It's the only way I even touch tickets now. The views from your seat, beautiful, which it's easy for me, right? Like I said, I bought front row tickets. I'm going to be right there for it. So the view from the seat, not that important this time around, but very excited to see what we're actually going to witness the Florida Gators do on the field. The all-in pricing, so I'm not getting hit with some blindside fee that I don't even understand how it pops up sometimes. Got to turn on the feature, but it's a brilliant feature. I just don't understand how companies do that. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets at Game Time. Download the Game Time app. Create an account. Use code LOCKEDONCollege for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account. Redeem code LOCKEDONCollege for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets. Lowest price guaranteed. You've heard us talk a lot about FanDuel all summer long because guess what? It's America's #1 sportsbook. Not up for debate. I've got my Florida bets. Let me tell you, the line dropped for Florida State and Boston College, and Florida State were 17.5-point favorites. I don't think I've ever bet anything so fast, okay? When I bet Boston College plus 17.5, which, by the way, the line is now plus 15.5. Saying we have something different for you with FanDuel. Right now through September 22nd, all FanDuel customers can bet $5 and get a 3-week free trial of NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. Then For the YouTube TV base plan, you'll be able to watch every regular season Sunday afternoon out-of-market game. All you need is a Google account and a current form of payment that you can cancel at any time. Just visit FanDuel.com/lockedon to download America's #1 sportsbook. Joining me now for Locked On Gators is Hayden Hansen, the Florida Gators starting tight end. He was with us the past 2 full seasons, and now every single week, Hayden will be back with us on Locked On Gators. And I've got to just get right into it right here. Big week, obviously, against the Miami Hurricanes. Big game this Saturday. I'm curious, why exactly are you guys going to beat the Hurricanes this weekend?
I think it's just going to come down to execution at the end of the day. I mean, execution is going to breed emotion, and emotion is going to breed winning. We've had a long offseason, long spring, long fall camp. I think we're ready to go hit somebody else. So,
yeah, I'm curious just what this game is like internally for you guys, because I know that I'm on Twitter a lot. I see Florida fans, I see Miami fans. I get involved with the action, and it's a really heated game right now, really heated environment, to the point where we're in Twitter spaces and people are just like, honestly, I don't even care about talking about it anymore. Let's just line it up and see what happens. So just what is it like intensity-wise for you guys?
I think we approach every game about the same intensity, but obviously in-state rivalry game, home opener. We're well aware that Florida hasn't lost a home opener since '86, I think, something like that. FSU also just lost. So, I mean, it kind of just, you want to go out there and win, we're not approaching this game any differently. We have tons of respect for Miami. They have a lot of good guys on that side of the ball. And I think that's where a lot of teams lose before it even starts. They don't respect their opponent. They come in there big-headed, and, it hits the fan. So.
Yeah, it's an intense environment. I know I've been talking obscene amounts of trash to their fan base. They've been dishing it right back. You guys have a very unique situation this year where you can outright win the state of Florida. You've got Miami week 1, you've got UCF, your 5th game or 6th game, and then you've got Florida State to end the year. What does that mean for you guys, where you can outright be state champions, undisputed by every stretch of the word?
Yeah, I mean, it's something we don't take lightly, that's for sure. I know Napier went out, I'm going to say summertime, bought a huge I don't want to be wrong. I'm not really from Florida, but it's a flag that represents someone taking over Florida. I don't know the exact name, but it's huge. It hangs in the weight room. Every time we look at it, it's like we need to be the kings of Florida. That's basically what it represents. I'll have to look it up and figure it out, but I thought it was pretty cool, and just sends a message to us every day. I know Napier takes a lot of pride in it, and we take a lot of pride in that too.
Yeah, I mean, I can only imagine with being able to actually just seal off the state. No one can argue. Do you guys just internally pay attention at all to recruiting, where I know that on the show I talk about, Florida, you win the in-state battle with every other school, and that's important for the head-to-head battles where people are constantly like, oh, well, why would you go to school A when school B beat school A and things like that? Do you guys pay attention to that at all?
Coaches-wise, yeah, they all do. But player-wise, me personally, I don't pay an ounce of attention to it. Maybe that differs. I know there's a lot of guys that are from this area that are really close with the other Florida recruits and stuff like that. But I have a lot on my plate. That's one of the last things I'm worried about.
Yeah, I have to ask for you personally, just what are you looking for this weekend? First time that you said we get to hit other people this week. So what are you looking for in this game against the scum down there?
It's going to be fun. It's you work so hard for 12 opportunities, basically, is what it comes down to. And it's not every day. It's not every day you get to kick it off with a rivalry game. So it's going to be really fun. I'm ready to showcase what I've been working on. I go against TJ Searcy every day, George Gums every day. Those dudes are no joke. So I'm ready to show the work we've done together and put those reps to the test on live television.
I'm glad that you mentioned TJ Searcy, George Gums, because one of the things that I got to ask you last year, and we get to ask again, and it's fun to, I don't even remember what you said last year, but it's fun to compare and contrast there. But who are some guys that in camp kind of popped to you, whether it was going up against them running routes or as a blocker?
Yeah, so Gums for sure. Gums he likes to pop you on the line of scrimmage. He's pretty explosive. Going to be a good player for us. Try to give you one from about each position. Pup Howard was one at linebacker. No fear. Secondary, we actually have a lot of our secondary just improved so much in tackling. I mean, Asa Turner's a really good tackler. Triquez really impressed me. So I mean, I'm really excited for our defense, and it's definitely not the same defense as last year.
Yeah, how does that feel just as a player? Because I know personally I would watch last year and get headaches watching some of the things, and then now you get to actually see it. Like I get to talk about it all off season, but when it comes down to it, I've got to go, oh, like I need to see them perform on the field. But you get to see this, you get to see the coaching changes, all the transfer portal, the experienced players that came in, and you get to actually see this defense kind of develop right in front of your eyes.
Yeah, I mean, and Napier said it best today after practice. This team just has more accountability, more trust. He made it very clear that he trusts a lot more guys than last year. That's what makes him excited. He trusts people to do their job. He doesn't really think twice about it. And that just leads to, like I said in the beginning, it leads to execution, then it leads to emotion, then it leads to confidence, and that's when you have a really good team.
Yeah. What's been the focus for your development this offseason? Because after your first year here, you redshirted, you weren't playing last year. Halftime of the first game of the season, you took over as a starter, never let that go. So now you've got a full year's worth of film against other teams where you kind of get to see this is where I need to improve. This is where I was pretty solid. So what's been the area of focus for your development?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I'm always trying to improve blocking. I know that's what's going to get me to the next level. But I really did put a lot of emphasis this year in my route running, even when I'm not expecting the ball, making sure my routes are crisp, coming out of those angles. We've been working on trusting my hands more for sure. We get into those hot, humid practices. You get really tired. Me personally, I like to body catch sometimes, and I try to be like, all right, you get tired, just make yourself use your hands, just little stuff like that. So like in games, I never use my body to catch. It's just those little things you try to fix when it's really hard. So in the game, it's even easier.
And what is it like for you? Because I know that one thing that we've talked about a lot this offseason has been Graham Mertz returning. Just, your redshirt freshman season or your true freshman season, Anthony Richardson was the quarterback last year. You had Graham Mertz, and then you get the benefit that not a lot of people get of having a returning starting quarterback that's in his 6th year in college now. So just what's that been like this offseason?
Yeah, I mean, it's the best thing that could happen to this offense. He knows the system, great leader. He's put it on the line last year. They respect him. Yeah, I mean, couldn't have asked for a better spot to be in right now with that quarterback. He's a great mentor for DJ. Those two work really well together. And yeah, I mean, I know it's not just me. I think everyone's expecting a really good season from Graham.
I don't know about you, but just about every single time that I eat lunch, some days I'll skip it, but just about every single time that I eat lunch, I feel like I am just 1,000 pounds. I don't know. I feel 1,000 pounds. I feel tired. I just want to nap, whether I had a salad or something heavy. I don't know. Burger. I still feel tired. I don't know. It's just every single time. Research shows that more than 70% of us hit that wall. I don't know. I don't eat dinner and want to go to sleep right away, but lunch every time. So frequently during the day, I let a 5-hour energy shot help me leap over the wall instead of crashing into it. With 0 sugar and a convenient portable size, it's the perfect pick-me-up for getting stuff done. The 5-hour energy website has flavors galore. There's watermelon, tropical burst, my personal favorite, grape. Try them all. Saying you could build your own 12-pack or 24-pack. If you go to 5-hour energy, so the number 5hourenergy.com, and get some 5-hour energy product today, you can use our promo code LOCKEDONCFB to receive 20% off your order. Go to 5hourenergy.com today. I have to ask also with DJ Lagway, what's that been like? Obviously, he's the prize jewel of that 2024 recruiting class. So what's that been like to have DJ Lagway on campus as a true freshman here?
Yeah, I mean, it's been pretty cool. He's constantly improving. It's really fun to watch him play and develop, and he's going to be a very good player for us this year. Even it'll be fun to watch him play.
What's this past offseason been like for you? Because, I mean, Russ Callaway, tight ends coach, was given the co-offensive coordinator title. So I don't know if that's changed how anything's worked in practice, but that's an offseason change. And then, of course, complete turnover with the strength and conditioning staff. I mean, twice at the head of it. So just what's this past offseason been like for you guys?
Yeah, I mean, it's just been all about the work. Napier made an emphasis that he wanted it to be hard, that wanted to test our true character, and he wanted to see who the leaders were going to be, who was going to rise to the top. So, for the May break, he showed up 2 weeks earlier, got 2 weeks of extra stuff. So, I mean, it's just, it was hard, and it's obviously in hopes to have us prepared for this moment right now. So I think that's why we're all excited to finally go out there and hit somebody else,
Yeah, and one of the other changes this past offseason was the addition of Caleb Rillos through the transfer portal from Air Force, veteran tight end that, I don't know if you know this, Air Force just runs the damn ball every single time, basically. And you being the blocking tight end, how has Caleb Rillos helped you, or you helped him, or just what's that experience been like?
Yeah, it's been great. I mean, it's always good to have an older guy in the room, a veteran presence with him and Zip. It's good. I mean, you pick his brain, especially because, I mean, he was pretty much one-dimensional at Air Force, so it's pretty cool. You don't see that offense every day for sure. And it's pretty cool how they made that work every game.
Now, what's the tight end room like this year now that, it's your third year with the program? You're a starter now. You've been, I mean, you are now one of the most experienced tight ends on the roster, just in terms of pure downs played at the college level, which is kind of wild to think about considering it's your redshirt sophomore year. But just what's the tight end room like now, where it's obviously gone through a lot of turnover?
Yeah, I mean, it's cool to see how a lot of us have matured and grown into our roles. I know one of the challenges for me from a lot of coaches was to be more of a leader and more vocal this year. And I feel like I've done a decent job of that, at least in the tight end room for sure. I just think we all work well together. I think everyone knows their roles in the offense, and we all show up every day and learn from each other. Like, I know me and Arliss are about the exact opposite as you can get from each other. And we learn from each other every day. Like, if he's in and I'm not, I'm watching him, watching him run routes. If I'm in and he's not, he's watching me and my footwork and stuff. So it's just really cool.
Yeah, I'm just curious. I have to ask this question. It's obligatory, and you should know it by now. Any chance that you're moving to offensive tackle, Hayden, before we start getting that one?
No. I can't express that enough. No shot.
Yeah, that's the favorite message to see, of just, he's 6'7 3/4, 265-ish. And I'm just like, but he runs damn near 21. Like he runs 21.
There's body fat right now too. I'm pretty slim.
Yeah, but it's wild to me there. But I'm also just curious from your side of things, the actual player perspective for you. You've been there since Billy Napier got hired. I mean, you were committed to him with Louisiana, came over on Christmas. He gave you the call, and you ended up becoming a Florida Gator there. How different has this past offseason been from anything else you've done with Billy Napier prior to? And has he changed? Because I feel like when he goes in front of the media now, I feel like he's moving with a kind of confidence that we haven't seen him move with at the University of Florida. So I'm just curious if that's also internally any difference.
Yeah, I mean, I think that also just comes from him trusting more players, having accountability there. He says it all the time. He's execution, preparation just breeds confidence. And this group, I'm telling you, our group is well prepared, not lacking any category there. And yeah, I mean, I say the biggest difference this offseason versus the other two is the details, the attention to detail. It's been off the charts. The little things don't really fly anymore. Every single, if you're running a route and you get a little false step to the left, the whole play gets reloaded for one person. It's just little stuff like that that's really helping us.
And then I do have to ask you, just before I let you go, what's it like, man? I mean, first season opener as a starter. Like, yeah, last year you opened the season at home against McNeese State, but going into the year, it wasn't, this whole offseason, it wasn't, this is mine. And now this offseason, you've had that of this starting spot's mine. Going into your first season opener, home opener as a starting tight end against an in-state rival. I can only imagine that, man.
I mean, that's what you live for, man. That's the vision I had when I came here, and now that I have it, I work my ass off every day to make sure I don't lose it because it can be gone in an instant in this league. So I'm going to go out there and do my thing and play for my teammates.
I've got to ask: Are we seeing the old 2 catches early on, not anything after that for a little while thing from you this year, or are we expecting more there?
I'm always welcoming that ball coming to me, But regardless, I know my job. I know my job's going to be run heavy, but I feel like we'll see a little more of that.
Hey, hopefully, I will be there. Hey, if you happen to score in that end zone, I'll just be there home time. I'm just saying it just if you want to. I'll be there right in the front. But thank you so much, Hayden. This is Hayden Hansen, Florida Gators starting tight end. Catch him every week with Locked On Gators and every Saturday playing for your Florida Gators. Thanks for making Locked On Gators your first listen of the day. Every day we are available daily and free wherever you listen to the podcast and on YouTube. We will be back tomorrow. Talk more Florida Gators. Talk more Miami Hurricanes. Going to be a good time. Game day is almost here. For Locked On Gators, I'm Brandon Olsen. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter at WNS_Brandon. Find all my great work with Giants Country, and I'll see you all next time.